All right, here we are with WRC 10. Came out a couple of days ago, and this is just my first impressions video. So far, I'm actually pretty impressed with what they've managed to deliver. There's a couple of grumbles that persist from last year's WRC, and you know, there's still a sense it's a small team. But overall, I think it's a strong release, and definitely will pull me away from Dirt Rally for a bit. Big problem is that they still don't have widescreen, not widescreen, sorry, VR support. So maybe ultimately that's what'll get me coming back to Dirt Rally. But improvements in historicals, improvements in sound, in graphics, in physics. The game across the board just is just better than it was. So this I'll talk through some of my impressions, and then I'll do a proper run through it at maximum attack. And I hope it's an entertaining watch. So yeah, ride along with me in WRC 10. Oh, okay, got a time penalty there for some reason. Let's try that again. So the first thing that should hopefully be immediately apparent is the improvement in the engine notes. Again, getting the sound mix is a little tricky for these talk and drive type videos, so it might be more apparent during the hot run, but we'll see. Got a choice of co-drivers. There's the same old bloke, but there's also a lady co-driver now. I think her voice is a little clearer, so I prefer it. But that's a personal preference thing. There's a stupid immersive mode where they sort of go oof and wow and all that sort of stuff that thankfully you can turn off. So the headline item for me, at least, is that both the gravel physics and the force feedback have improved. I was a little bit underwhelmed with last year's release on the force feedback front, to the point where I just kind of said, once I got my DD2, I just said, I tried it, and I thought, no, I'll just wait for WRC 10. Like, this is underwhelming. And I didn't really dial it in, so maybe there was hidden depths there, but it just didn't impress me. But here, it's definitely communicative. Oh, wow. This always happens on the talk and drive videos. It's more communicative. I did need to sort of dial out some of the self-centering force to make the wheel a little lighter, because rally steering should be fairly light. And add a little bit of weight. Like, ironically, like it's too thick and sludgy using the built-in self-centering, but you do want a bit of natural inertia and natural damper through the drivers just to get it balanced. And now it feels good. Like, I can chuck the wheel around pretty happily. Now, initially, I sort of felt like it had been softened up a little bit in terms of, especially on the braking front. Like, your brakes are pretty immense in WRC, and that's probably an area which is a little unrealistic, because the thing will pull up in really short distances, and you expect that to some extent in the real WRC cars, but Group A cars didn't have brakes this good. And yeah, I sort of felt like it just wasn't really sliding the car around properly, and it definitely doesn't have the same sort of body weight shifting feel that 9 kind of really did, which I liked that about 9. 9 had a sort of RBR feel to it. Obviously not quite as hardcore, but definitely evoked it, and it seems to have moved back away from that a little bit, and so it's a bit more on the throttle and brake rather than on the inertia, but it feels good, and combined with the improved tarmac feel, I think makes it really quite compelling. Group A's, Group A is my favorite class. So the classic 1990s rally cars. And so you can really feel the difference jumping from this Impreza to Tommy's Evo 5. Like, the Impreza is designed to be slid into the corner and powered out, so it feels understeery. Whereas the understeery on power, that is, like, it turns in beautifully. Whereas the Evo is meant to be steered more on the throttle, and so it feels more tail happy. Like, you can slide it around using the throttle a lot more than the Impreza. And so the handling characteristics of these cars have been reproduced. And so for someone whose heart lives with the historicals, that was my big criticism of WRC in the past. It means I'll be able to spend a bit more time with this year's release. Now, graphics and sound have obviously had an improvement. There's just a little bit more, I don't know what the word is to it, just a bit more quality of the lighting, I guess. It looks less clinical. Everything seems to be a bit more blended into the scene more realistically. So, you know, it's a better looking game. And I know that's a shallow thing to worry about, but it's important. It makes it more appealing to return to. Not a huge number of times up yet, so this is my best time I set last night. I'm currently sitting 12th out of all of these, but I think there's not really, there's only 36 times set on this stage so far with these cars, so I'm not patting myself too hard on the back yet. But yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised with this. And I can definitely see myself spending more time on it this year than I did last year. I did play a fair bit of WRC 9, but the lack of VR, and it sort of got a bit samey without any good historical cars to just lad around on. And so I sort of returned to Dirt Rally 2 in short order. But this feels like it's got legs under it. The sheer number of stages and the sheer variety of stages, the fact that the physics feel quite consistent and coherent. So there's not this gulf between tarmac and gravel like there was in 8. Like 9 definitely closed the gap there, and this is a refinement on that. And if what people are saying is true about the snow stages, those are meant to be as good now. This could really be an excellent year for WRC. So, yeah, expect to see more WRC 10 content on here. And yeah, I'd say it's worth the money. The only knock I would say is the stupid pre-order bonus setup. So if you haven't bought it already, you're probably going to have to buy the Evo 5 and the Impreza separately, which is just straight up garbage. Like, really, like, that's like what they did with the Audi Quattro last year, making that a bloody pre-order bonus. And if you missed the boat, you had to buy it separately. Like that. That's nickel and diming, and not a fan of that. But overall, it is a very good experience. And yeah, I am definitely looking forward to spending more time with WRC 10. So, enough blather. Let's put up a couple of hot runs. So I'll do one hot run on here on this New Zealand stage, and then we'll go to Nagakute in Japan, which is one of my favorite stages, and do a couple of max attack runs. Oh man, I hate this bug so much. That's the third time this session. They haven't fixed that. Also, it doesn't utilize multi-core processors very well. Only using about half of my R7. Oh, no. First, go. Ah, how annoying. That was a PB. I mean, not a dramatic improvement, but it was. Well, that was an improvement. Could do without that little spin in the middle, though. 5 seconds off the pace. So that spin was probably worth 3 or 4 seconds. So maybe nudging the 20 there. Anyway, so that's a little bit of WRC 10 action. Like I said, I think it's worth a buy. You know, get out there. If you haven't pre-ordered, unfortunately, you are going to have to buy the 2 Group A classics separately. But overall, it's a really decent game. A lot of fun, and something I'm looking forward to sinking my teeth into properly over the coming year. So, thanks for watching.